When we learned to write the equation of a line in ratio form, we made use of the idea that the slope is defined as the y difference divided by the x difference. In other notation, the y difference divided by the x difference. So we're going to use that idea and say that the y difference means subtract, over the x difference, and again difference means subtract, equals the slope. And that was our ratio form. It's not defined when x is 0 except that I'm already given the point that if x is 0, y is 5. So now we cross multiply with our y's first. Why first? Well, because I said so. It just makes it easier. And distribute that out. And I can put a minus 0 in the end, but I don't need to. And to solve for y, I'm going to add 15 to both sides. And now I'm going to divide. 2 over 3x and 15 over 3 constant, which you could rewrite as 5. Again, the idea is that the slope is defined as the y difference over the x difference. The slope is defined as the y difference over the x difference. And I'm going to do the minus, negative, plus. Now cross multiplying y's first. Just like we did on the lesson a couple weeks ago where we found a common denominator and they all canceled out. Make sure you see why that's a minus 6. Now to solve for y, I'm going to add the opposite. Red rover, bring the other sign over. And divide by 5. Negative 3 over 5x and negative 1 over 5 for a constant. Idea works the same way when you have a integer for a slope and an integer for the slope, but again, the y difference over the x difference equals the slope. And I'm going to put that over 1 so that I can find a common denominator and then cancel. And I'm going to treat minus and negative as plus. I like to do the y's first. And then we distribute. Love to distribute 1. Common mistake is people will forget to do the 4 times the 7. They'll do the 4 times the x and forget to do the 4 times the 7. Now to solve for y, I have to add the opposite. Red rover, bring the other sign over. And I don't have to divide by anything in this case. Here's the same idea. Oops, went too far. Here's the same idea, but I'm not given a slope. Well, I have to find a slope. And it looks like the y difference is negative 7 over the x difference is negative 8, so my slope is 7/8. It doesn't matter which point I choose right now. I'm going to pick this one, but it doesn't really matter. The y difference over the x difference equals the slope. The y difference over the x difference equals the slope. And I'll make that minus and negative plus. Once again, eliminating denominators, I have 8 times y plus 2, 7. Distributing 8y minus 16, 7x minus 49, red rover, add the opposite. That should be plus 16, shouldn't it? I knew I was going to have a minus 16 in a minute. and get my calculator out. I think that's 65 dividing by 8. Let me scroll that up a little bit. There we go. 7 over 8x minus 65 over 8 for a constant. And there you go. And I hope that's been helpful in setting up an intercept form.